If this was your last day alive, how would you make it count? Have you ever thought about what it would be like if this was your last day to live? I had long thought about this question when I had a crisis, but you don't have to get to a crisis to think about this question. In this video, we're going to talk about how to answer that question and also how to develop a habit out of things that matter. When we ask ourselves this question, it makes us reassess our life. What works, what doesn't, how we spend our time, how we don't. And we start thinking about how we should spend our time. More importantly, this question allows us to assess our life and do a self-inventory. We ask ourselves who we are as people, what have we done, and where are we headed? Now, in my last video, I talked about how to give back even if you don't have much to give. Seeing this crisis in Valencia, where the floods have completely devastated this entire region, I started thinking about what would my next 1, 5, 10 years look like? Because you never know when it's your last day. You don't necessarily always plan for it. Sometimes you get ill, you end up in the hospital. Sometimes you have an accident and you don't really know if you're going to come out of it or not. I always encourage people to ask this question whether or not they're in a crisis, because it allows them to self-assess and, of course, self-adjust. Now, what that adjustment period looks like is once you assess your life, you can begin to see the many opportunities ahead of you and you begin to pivot. Pivot means shifting. Now, this is a fun exercise called mind shifting. When you actually write down these questions, who am I? What is working in my life? What isn't? What do I wish? What brings me joy? What do I need? What do I want? When you write all these questions down and you see everything on paper, then you begin to think, okay, should I continue going down this path or should I shift my perspective or shift my mind in order to go that way instead of this way? This is an exercise that I do that helps us reverse engineer our life. Now, what reverse engineering means is you look at a goal and then you work backwards and see how you get there. Another good example of that, when you ask yourself, what would I do if today was my last day alive? I want to be a writer, or I want to be a father, or I want to give back to my community. And you look at what that is, what that role is, or what that goal is. You break it down into bite-sized achievable milestones. And then from there, you kind of execute on these goals. And what you begin to see is that you end up actually doing what you are meant to do, what you love, because you have now a structure for your life. So you end up hitting those goals and milestones so your day is organized around doing those activities that you love and those things you're meant to do. Now you have a habit for developing that life that you've always meant to do. And what ends up happening is that if you ask yourself the question every day, what would I do if today was my last day? You appreciate your day more and you realize how much joy you have in your life, because if every day you imagine is your last day, you would make it count. I hope that this question has helped you. It has helped me when I was in a moment of crisis. I wish I asked this question before any crisis. And now it's part of my daily routine, asking myself the question, am I reaching my goals? Is this worth my time? Should I go engage in a social event? So really honing in on that framework for your life and developing that habit will get you the joy that you're seeking, and it will also get you to do the things that you absolutely love. When you love, it's not work. Of course it's work, working hard to achieve it, but then it becomes fun, joyful, and you just end up having a better experience of life every day. If you found this topic helpful, please leave your comment. I look at these comments every week so I can plan my videos for the next upcoming weeks. And speaking of videos, that is coming up the next one, what to do when you don't have opportunities. And this one came up recently from one of my friends who is doing all the right things in her career and getting degrees, but she's just not getting those opportunities. And for a lot of us, it's that job that we wanted, or even getting into the school that we always wanted. It just seems like every day is a struggle. So how can we get those opportunities and capitalize on them is what I will talk about in the next video. So you may want to stick around for that one. And as always, do the best that you can every day.